Not too long ago, my family and I visited the Great Wolf Lodge in Grapevine, Texas, because we freaking love the Great Wolf Lodge. In fact, that's why I have my wolf ears on, and it is really messing with the green screen effect to have these wolf ears on. But that's besides the point. When you go to the Great Wolf Lodge in Grapevine, Texas, you are greeted with this sign. Pursuant to Section 30.07 Penal Code, trespass by license holder with an openly carried handgun. A person licensed under Subchapter H, Chapter 411, Government Code, Handgun Licensing Law, may not enter this property with a handgun that is carried openly. And then it has the equivalent language translated into Spanish, as is required by Texas state law when it comes to no gun signs. This is what they call in Texas a compliant 3007 sign, meaning that it is, in fact, backed by force of law because it is posted in such a way and it meets certain requirements. Obviously, this verbatim language, and it is in English and in Spanish. The lettering is block lettering that's at least 1 inch tall. And it is posted in a conspicuous manner at each and every entrance to the building, or at least things that the public would use as an entrance. What does this mean in Texas, folks? It means that if you have a handgun and a handgun license and you openly carry it inside this property, then you have broken the law as soon as you've gone inside. Also, of course, the ownership, the management, they can actually ask you to leave, and if you refuse to do so, then, hey, there's a crime right there. But since Texas now has constitutional carry, and there are people that are able to carry without a license, aka anyone who is not a federally prohibited individual, this sign does not apply to them. So if you don't have a handgun license and you carry past this sign, you're not breaking the law. How crazy is that? So if they don't want you there, they'll still have to ask you to leave. And then if you refuse to do so, that's when the police show up and things go downhill from there if you don't want to go away. You get the matching set of shiny bracelets. And nobody wants those. Anyway, just a heads up. But I did walk around the entire building of the Great Wolf Lodge, and at the time, due to construction that was going on, there were actually a couple entrances that didn't have this sign, which under state law negates all of them. But I think you get the gist of this. The ultimate reality is what they're telling you is that if you're going to carry, they don't mind, just cover it up. And regardless of what the sign says or doesn't say, whether or not they also have a 30.05 sign, which would apply to non-licensed carriers or people carrying long guns or things other than handguns, they're making their intentions plain. They're letting you know what they want, and even if they don't have all the pertinent signs and a given sign may or may not apply to you, they're letting you know what their wishes are. Respect private property rights, folks, because even if, like I said, they missed one of their entrances, and so now you can't go straight to jail just for walking past the sign, they're still probably going to have words with you, and they're going to either ask you to cover it up or get the hell out. And if you refuse to do either of those things, well, enjoy your night in jail, or, whatever the police end up doing with you. Now, yes, there are recent provisions in Texas state law that say that for people that are actually guests at hotels, that it is how do they phrase it, a defense to prosecution if you were to carry your firearm, directly from your car into your room, and then you leave it in your room. A thing to keep in mind, you have to read more into the law and how things are phrased. Defense to prosecution is not defense to getting arrested in the first place. It's not immunity from getting arrested. It is when you have your day in court, that's your defense. And if it applies, well then, hey, case dismissed. So bear that in mind, folks, okay? Anyway, Great Wolf Lodge,